Alright, hello again, Lanky here. Yeah, straight off the bat, I apologise for taking so long for putting up this next video. I've had a couple of things that have actually been going on. I had a trip to Perth where I was doing some demos for Freestyle Now up at Carnarvon, which is about 1,000 k's north of Perth. So it was a pretty crazy drive, had a lot of fun out there. It wasn't too long after that that I actually went and spanked my head. This is my fresh scar, I'm sure you can see. And that put me out for a little while there, about 2 weeks. It was a good concussion. You can see the photo is looking quite gnarly. I'm not actually bleeding out of my ear there. It looks pretty bad. It rattled me for a bit and it wasn't the best. So that put it back. And then on top of that, I have also had some issues with my teeth. For those of you who don't know, these are fake. And I have recently started undergoing pre-surgery for permanent teeth in the long run. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to get some new teeth. It's been a long time. I don't actually remember what it's like to bite things. So it's kind of weird to say that, but it's the truth. So I'm really excited for this and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Alright, so to get straight into this, we are learning the front jam today, or the Vader. People call it different names. I like to call it the front jam. Doesn't really matter. So, the first thing we need to realize with this trick is some people find this easier than can jams. Like I said on the can jam tutorial, if you can't do this trick, you may find this one easier. Personally, I found front jams much easier than can jams. It took me a lot longer to learn them. So front jams are my go-to trick. So all you have to do with this trick is think everything backwards from a regular foot jam. The reason being is because of the motion of the front jam. So the first thing you need to do is actually come up and roll backwards across the ramp. You need to think of this like an alley-oop. You need to roll backwards across the ramp. This is because your wheel is rolling backwards and your foot is on the front of the wheel, so to lock the wheel it actually has to be rolling backwards. Next thing you want to be thinking is that you want to be up forward like a Canadian. You really have to be a long way forward on this trick. So if you can practice Canadian foot jams, that will really help with this trick. So from there, you come up, you go alley-oop, you go front jam, thinking like a Canadian, and then you actually lock your foot in by that backwards roll on the wheel, as I said, and then once you're ready to jump back in, you let your weight fall forwards, and then you scrub the front wheel, scrub it, push it forwards, and that's what pops you in. Now, on to the things that people can have trouble with this trick. If your foot's not holding and it keeps falling forward and it falls out, that means you're not actually alley-ooping. It means you're carving into the trick. Now if your wheel's rolling forwards, your foot's going to want to get spat out because it's not being pushed into the forks, it's actually being pushed away. So you have to come up more alley-oop. Next, if you can't get back in, if it feels like you're falling out, or if the balance is just not right, it could be because you're not actually doing enough of a Canadian. The Canadians actually watch pushes your weight forward and back into the ramp. I've tried doing front jams and I can do them regularly, but I've found that just having that over-rotated position of almost a Canadian helps out of sight. There's really a lot that the Canadian brings to this trick, so if you can work on them before jumping into this trick, it really helps. Next up, if you can't get your foot into the wheel, and you're struggling to get your foot onto the tyre, just remember back to the can jam and the foot jam, turn your wheel out. You want that nice platform to stand on, so if you don't give yourself that platform by turning the wheel out, you're going to have trouble getting your foot on. So it doesn't matter what size shoe it is, that's not your problem. It's that you're not turning your bars out. So flick it out and make a conscious effort to turn it out, and that will actually help solve the problem. Now, if you're falling backwards and you can't seem to keep this weight upright, the reason that's actually happening is because of your balance point. Because your foot is now on the front of the tyre rather than behind it, that actually changes your center of gravity and it moves it forward. So to get that balance point, you have to be a lot further up. So you really need to be willing to commit to get up on this trick. It's an easy trick to fall out of if something goes wrong. All you do is just put your foot down because it's out of the tire, out of the forks. You just slip your foot off and then run out. Nice and easy. Another tip I can give you is by leveraging your knee. Your knee is actually pushing up against the bars. So if you can lever off that, use the leverage that gains, you can actually pull really tight your foot into the front of the forks, and that will really help lock your foot in. It makes it a lot easier to hold on, and that's how people hop in front jam. I'm sure you've seen people do that in edits. So that's how they actually hop, by locking their knee up into there. That lock also allows people to do the front jam no-handers and things like that you see. So practice that and it'll really help master this trick for you. And one big thing I have to bring to this is please, please, please wear shin pads. This trick hurts. It really hurts. I don't have brakes and it hurts. If you have a gyro, you're going to be punching holes in your shin, because where your leg actually locks on this trick is right where the gyro tab sits. So even with no brakes, I'm still bumping my stem a lot. So really, get yourself a set of shin pads. It doesn't even matter if it's a set of soccer shin pads or footy shin pads or whatever. Get something to protect your shins while this is riding, because otherwise you're going to have a leg covered in bruises. So yes, with that, thank you again. I do hope this has helped you. Like and subscribe down below. I would love to hear your comments on this. Please let me know if this has helped you land this, and tag me in it. My Instagram is at Lanky BMX 360. So tag me in any of your tricks that you've been learning. I'd love to see it. I want to know how you're going. If you have any questions, obviously I can answer them there too. And yeah, with that, I'd like to say thank you, and just remember, practice, 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 because the more practice you do, the better you get. With that, it's Lanky out for another session, and I'll be back next time with the can front jam. Peace.